thrifting ain't easy, unless you're watching me. Welcome back! You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, where we bring Hollywood home on a budget. And throughout this week, I'm dishing out some everyday magic, casting 5 spells that make the mundane turn magical. We're now about to enter the most magical place in DCOM fandom, Disney Channel original movies. No, not East High. They had their time in the spotlight. High School Musical Wildcats. This time, we're talking about the Kingdom of Auradon and the Isle of the Lost. Man, this cross-eyed Descendants fan is almost always intrigued by the merchandise that this beloved franchise has conjured up throughout the years. From here on in, there'll be a playlist for you to catch up on in the description downstairs so that you can follow up on our Descendants journey. This next exhibit is Evie's fashion book. Yes, a book dedicated to my favorite Descendant, my favorite VK, villain kid. If not, then certainly the prettiest. You gotta agree on that, please. Evie, Sofia Carson. The standard disclaimer applies. I like her best as Evie on Pretty Little Liars, the Perfectionist, but more people will remember her as a VK, chilling with Carlos and Mal and Jay. Then Evie with a bunch of hoity-toity perfectionists at some Auradon prep school. That's the center of a scandal. Whatever. But I miss the perfectionists. Either way, this Disney Plus publication was picked up from 2nd Avenue Thrift Superstore in Union for $2.99 and retails for $13.99 in Canada, $12.99 in the US. I may be from the Isle, but I love living in Auradon. School is amazing, my friends are wicked, and I started my own fashion line. Evie's 4 Hearts. Dreams do come true. This is my fashion book, filled with design sketches, style tips, notes, and my favorite photos. Get a glimpse into my world. XOXO, Evie. For the most part, that glimpse on this channel will be threefold. Part 1. Evie's standard Isle look. This could be considered her everyday look. We have here preliminary style sketches for a good many of her wardrobes, and tips on how you can incorporate some edgy glam and some glitter and gold into your everyday wardrobe, just like the edgy VKs, the reformed villain kids, who have a bunch of ugly tricks up their sleeve inherited from birth from some of Disney's baddest villains, but they want to become good kids. If anything, they'll certainly look good in the process. So this is Evie's everyday Isle look. Maybe for a night out in the Isle of the Lost in the Kingdom of Auradon, but what do you think? Part 2. Cotillion hair and makeup. We have here wardrobe sketches and ideas for a regular day in the Isle of the Lost, a regular day of school at Auradon Prep, and for their big cotillion. And not just when it comes to wardrobe, but hair and makeup on the part of Associates Lonnie and main cohort Mal, which will be Dove Cameron if you want to be technical, and Jane. Carlos has a huge thing for Jane. Carlos played by the late Cameron Boyce, and you know what? Seeing Jane for the first time here, I don't blame him one bit. Then again, Evie's had my number since probably the 5th Descendants review I did here. If you want to catch up, I'll create a Descendants playlist in the description so that you can check it out. But here we have hair and makeup tips for getting all glammed up for the cotillion. Now each Isle of the Lost citizen and Auradon Prep classmate, for lack of a better term, was all glammed up. Part 3. You know, Evie is in a relationship with Doug, her business partner in Evie's 4 Hearts. Lucky guy. Most people would consider him a nerd, in part because of the glasses, but they somehow have a good connection. And it turns out Doug's had a thing for Evie for a while. Look at this poem. Your eyes, like the sweetest chocolate, I could stare into them forever. Your skin, like the softest silk, please let me hold your hand in mine. Your mind, like a roaring fire, tell me what you're thinking. Your heart, like the most beautiful sunset, I treasure the moments we're together. All of you is perfect. Doug. Very sweet, yet somewhat haphazard. But hey, if you got Evie, you're probably set for the rest of your life. And this really just wraps it all up for me. Rebel attitude, definitely displayed in haute couture with a bit of a Disney kick. That kicks more than any other Disney wardrobe I've seen, at least in terms of decoms. Cotillion couture, and how to rock this style for a night out on the aisle. We have here a bunch of stills from Descendants 2, and I think the first Descendants film. The book as a whole is nicely designed, and if anything, it's just plain fun to look at. Admittedly, fashion of any kind isn't my forte, but if it connects to pop culture, I gotta give it a fair and good clean shot. Plus, this book has definitely made more than a few rounds on YouTube, so I'm sorry if this isn't really the most complete review there is, but at least it's the least expensive. From my point of view anyway. What about you? 4.5 out of 5 claps. As you can plainly see, our descension into the kingdom of Auradon sees no end in sight. But in this application, we do see the wicked means to a stylish end, which if you're like Evie, is only the beginning. Technically, it's the middle, but what's you gonna do? This is Disney's Descendants 2, Evie's fashion book, and if you decide to enter a career in fashion because of it, this book will have done its job. If you have the wicked hots for Evie, or anyone else in here, then the book, in my opinion, will do an even greater public service. Let me show you what's on the docket for Thursday. There is a certain generational appeal to be found with 3 sexy superheroine sisters who use witchcraft, not to mention a little bit of martial arts action, as a force of good to save the world from evil. Thanks for tuning in. Just so you know, there's no limit to bringing Hollywood home on a budget. Please go ahead and check out another awesome review like this one by clicking here, and make sure you subscribe by clicking here. Until next time, I'll catch you, as I always do, on the thrift side.